Hello, I'm Martin Beaver, coming to you from the wonderful Saline Royale Academy. This is Duncan McDougall from Toronto, Canada, who studies at the Colburn School in Los Angeles, and he will be playing an excerpt of the first movement of the Tchaïkovski Violin Concerto. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent playing, Duncan.
Thank
Really, really fantastic. And what a great orchestra we have, too. Wonderful. All right. Particularly brilliant playing in the cadenza. I think there you sort of came more into your own, perhaps, in terms of your comfort level. Yeah? Very, very good. Okay. Well, I think one of the major challenges in playing this particular movement and of this particular concerto, of course, is that it's very difficult, technically speaking. Yeah, and I feel that you're really, in quite a magnificent way, overcoming a lot of these technical hurdles, and of course, you're more than up to the challenge of projecting above an orchestra in terms of the sound. Yeah. I think that what can happen, though, is that when we're a little bit preoccupied with those elements of quote unquote, getting the notes, and then also just the projection, it's sometimes easy to lose sight of another important element, as far as I'm concerned, which is to really find even more shadings and colors and moods, and to really bring out the kind of the essence of the writing that we get on the page. Yeah, and I think there are several ways that you can help that. One is, of course, to think about your vibrato in terms of the expression. Yeah, you have a very nice vibrato. It's a very natural kind of vibrato, and I believe actually that you have many different shades of it. Yeah, what I would love for you to think about in general, and certainly perhaps more in the lyrical sections, is to think about when you're developing the phrase with the vibrato. To really think of increasing or decreasing the intensity as you go, yeah? Sometimes I feel like there's a note here that has a nice vibrato, and then a note here that has a nice vibrato. I would love for that really to connect as much as possible, yeah? Another thing that, that I would like you to bear in mind, actually, is thinking about your bow changes. Again, particularly in lyrical sections. I notice that very often we sort of come to the end of a bow and then it kind of stops, and then we get the next note, yeah? This is not, of course, all the time. Sometimes you do connect wonderfully. But I would love to feel very, very definitely that you're thinking about those kind of connections, and again, with a view to a longer and more developed kind of phrase, okay? Let's start once more at the very beginning. For my taste, of course, the orchestra is in a way winding down in terms of where the soloist comes in, yeah? But they're still going to be making, you know, quite a bit of sound, of course, yeah? It's not to say that you should play loudly, and in fact, I think you're marked piano there, right? But I would love for you to really bring out the intensity of that flat six, yeah? Yeah, and if we could really, again, think in terms of the left-hand color there. Yeah, and then for my taste in this entire cadenza, I would like to avoid portati as much as possible. Really, it should sound very improvisatory and of course, you know, very free. But just make sure that the legato is still there and that we've really got this kind of oneness of phrase. So can we have a couple of bars? Thanks. Okay, very nice. That's much improved already. I would love you also to think in terms of the vibrato. Don't stop the vibrato when you're shifting. I hear, yeah? It makes for a very clear shift, but again, it kind of cuts off the phrase a little bit, yeah? Shall we try again? Good, good. Do you think you could go? I know it's early in the morning, but maybe even a dig a little deeper. Yeah, just I would say even think about the connection with your finger and the fingerboard, yeah? And the string, of course. Maybe a tiny bit more pronation with the hand. Okay, good, good, good. Now this is something I know we've mentioned before. Just think about not getting into an uncomfortable position. You really want to be as comfortable as you can. It's the first note after all. All right. I'm very sorry to stop you again. Here, with that very nice bloom of the vibrato, could you also mirror that with your use of bow there? Okay, good, good. So in terms of the shift, yeah, we want to get that slide in, but just make sure you're not pressing too hard and keep the vibrato going like you are. It sounds lovely. Okay, good. Are you enjoying this part? Are you enjoying
Not
playing
as
it?
much as I
Not so
should.
much, yeah. I think if you do, then we will. Do you know what I mean? We, meaning the listener, of course. This is perhaps a little bit more sort of devil-may-care, just par ici, par là, you know, just this kind of, just feel at your ease there. I would say the difficult part of this introduction is pretty much over, right? Okay, good. So I'm very much appreciative of the fact that you seem to be cognizant and diligent about the moderato aspect here. For my taste, it sounds a little bit like you're just telling yourself not to play fast.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, here I would like you obviously to keep tabs on the tempo so it doesn't run away from you. But I think this first theme is very sunny, and already we have, you know, the typical lift of Tchaïkovski, what we would certainly associate with his ballet writing. Yeah. So really go with that. Yeah. Maybe just from. Aha, good. Could you play that shift like you've really decided to do it? There was a bit in the middle where it felt like you wanted to turn back. Go right for it.